The 22nd Brigade drives North Korean troops from Mykolaivka in the Kursk region. Soldiers of the 22nd Separate Mechanized Brigade drove out North Korean soldiers who fought on the side of Russia from the village of Mykolayivka in the Kursk region. The outskirts of the enemy-occupied settlement were secured by the 1st Mechanized Battalion of the brigade and allied units. Ukrainian drones observed the defenders' actions, assisting and correcting their efforts. Based on the footage from the video released by the military, at Mykolaivka's Twitter account determined that the operation took place in the village of Mykolayivka in the Sudzha district of the Kursk region. A Ukrainian tank also drove onto the road leading to this small settlement and fired direct fire at close range at the occupier's position. Then, the infantrymen of the 22nd Brigade took over, going through all the houses and checking them for the presence of North Korean soldiers fighting against Ukraine in this area of the front. As a result, at least 9 North Korean soldiers were reportedly killed. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine recently reported that Russia has lost a total of over 38,000 servicemen in the Kursk operation, which was launched on August 6, 2024, including about 15,000 killed. As a result of this operation, for the first time in 11 years of war, hostilities were transferred to the territory of Russia. The purpose of the operation in the Kursk region was to prevent the Russian invaders from advancing in the Sumy region and to create a so-called buffer zone. Meanwhile, the soldiers of the 47th Mechanized Brigade, together with adjacent units of the Ukrainian Defense Forces, repelled a massive Russian assault in the Kursk region. The brigade published a video of the destruction of enemy equipment and soldiers. The Russians used a huge amount of equipment and personnel to attack the positions of Ukrainian defenders. The attacks were carried out in 6 waves. According to the Ukrainian military, the Russians used about 50 pieces of equipment in total. Tanks with trawls were the first in the Russian convoys to make minefield passages. The enemy also tried to break through using infantry fighting vehicles, armored personnel carriers, and even buggies. Russian armored vehicles were hit by FPV drones, and explosive munitions were dropped on the infantry from drones. In addition to the units of the 47th Magura Separate Mechanized Brigade, soldiers from neighboring units holding the line in this area were also burning enemy vehicles. The released footage shows several armored vehicles burning after being hit, and several more were mobilized. The 47th Brigade reported that during these offensives, the Russian military lost 45 soldiers killed and 53 wounded. Militarny previously reported that soldiers of the 61st Mechanized Brigade Stepova repelled an enemy assault near Sudzha, Kursk region. The video shows how a large group of Russian infantry was destroyed by artillery, including cluster munitions and drones. In addition, Ukrainian defenders engaged a tank to neutralize the enemy assault group, which fired at the Russians at close range. Recently, the skies above Kursk are becoming an increasingly important battleground in Ukraine's mission to dismantle Russian military capabilities. Ukrainian pilots demonstrated master-class skills while working under great danger, evading Russian missiles at the last moment to support their troops on the ground and deal maximal damage to the enemy. Ukraine's primary objective is to dismantle Russian command centers, disrupt troop concentrations, and sever military communication networks strategically timed to maximize its impact in the ongoing operations. Recently, Ukrainian forces launched a coordinated offensive across multiple axes near Bolshoi Soldatskoye, Sudzha, Novoivanovka, and Tyotkino. This has significantly strained Russian defenses as they had already suffered from weeks of heavy losses in both manpower and equipment. The renewed Ukrainian offensive has alarmed Russian military analysts across the board, with claims ranging from a stable defense to a full-on collapse of the Russian front line. The weeks of ongoing battles severely depleted Russian and North Korean resources, causing gaps in their lines to appear and forcing them to call additional reinforcements from the Donbas regions. Recognizing this opportunity, the Ukrainian High Command immediately planned to seize the initiative. Interestingly, Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, General Oleksandr Syrsky, visited frontline troops to finalize plans for the operation just hours before its launch. Not to raise suspicion about his presence, he combined the opportunity to present awards to the soldiers from the 225th Assault and 82nd Air Assault Brigades.
Гандоны нахуй! Туда, куда надо! Живой! Быстро уёбываем! Давай, 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 давай! Пострел! Все цели. Пока дым, давай, 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 давай. Friendly's on shovel! Right here. No, it's collapsed.